Welcome, good morning, everyone. Delighted to be here for yet another session and able to introduce Fabian Schlage from Nokia. I absolutely very much looking forward to his presentation. We had a little chat beforehand and I can tell you there's very exciting things happening at Nokia under Fabian's guidance. Just a brief introduction. Fabian started as IT specialist with Siemens. And when we talked, he said, I was working on all this digital and AI stuff already then. We just didn't call it like that. And I also thought it was really interesting when he shared that he has been working as assistant. Was it the assistant with the board? Anyway, you've been working with the board of Siemens, and the insights gained there in terms of the constraints and the challenges that are dominant or relevant at the board level, and that most other people in the organization don't quite notice. I thought this was a very interesting experience and insight, particularly in the context of innovation, where we are sometimes really frustrated that the board doesn't support us in the way that we see fit. However, Siemens really put innovation on the agenda big way around 2010. And I believe, is that right, roughly Fabian, 2010? And basically that's when Fabian took charge of helping Siemens establish a culture of innovation. And that was also when we met the first time. It was when I was orchestrating the Discontinuous Innovation Lab, where other ISPIM old-timers such as John Besant, who many of you will know and who's also playing in the band that has been established at ISPIM, and Katrin Möslein, I guess a lot of you will also know, where all of us met and got together. So we've been sort of connected for quite some time. And I really was very impressed when Fabian shared that the three pillars that he focused on when creating a culture or an organization that is thriving on innovation were inspirational, courageous leadership across all levels, open innovation, and the ecosystem development. And that ecosystem development and ecosystem engagement is just what Fabian is working on right now. And he will share with us, as you know, some of the digital applications in times of global crisis. Fabian, truly delighted, very much looking forward to hearing what you have to share. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Bettina, for the kind words. And hey, welcome. Yeah, I'm very happy to talk to you. And was a little bit silent period for me at the ISPIM, and that was a good reason because yeah, in Nokia happened a lot. And last 10 years, I worked in Nokia for building up innovation management, profit a lot from the ISPIM concepts here. And we have launched a cool set of things which have led to a business unit, a new business unit. So we have founded a business unit last year, Nokia Enterprise. And it's all about digitalization, it's all about automation. And nobody has expected the virus, nobody has expected such a thing. And I would like to reflect what our solutions, even by today now, can bring to our customers, and also for new kind of opportunities in times of crisis. Yeah, let's set the scene. So it's all about a story that you know, from the countrywide installations of telecommunications, yeah, which is cellular, which means 4G, 5G, complex technology, mainly built for operators. So this is what we have reinvented and basically scaled down so that it can enter now new kind of industries like manufacturing, yeah, industrial facilities, all the logistics stuff, utilities, yeah, power distribution, public safety, mining, and all these kind of new industries. And they can profit now from reliable connectivity and remote connections and automated businesses, which comes along with digitalization. And this is new, and why it's a pure innovation story. And forgive me, it's a little bit technically also in that presentation, but I hope you enjoy it anyhow. So that what you know from a country-wide installation, which big telecoms and huge clusters and servers and huge radios. So we have found a way to reduce the complexity of these 10,000s of parameters, to make it possible for everybody to own a private cellular network, like a bubble. And all the complexity we have shifted into what we call Digital Automation Cloud, which means with a remote connection on an edge on-prem, yeah, we are able now to manage your network, and that you profit from our radio portfolio, and you're getting rid of the Wi-Fi issues, you're getting rid of all these coverage issues, you're getting rid of the latency issues. You can establish new businesses with mobility, handover, seamless connectivity for sensors and the tablets and all that stuff, at the complexity of a commercial router. And as it's connected over the cloud, you see even that is an advantage if you have more than one side that can all be orchestrated. And I would say this is a brutal new message, because if you combine that with the opportunities 5G radio will give you, that establish a new bunch of unseen opportunities, reducing costs, reducing environmental impact, saving carbon, saving energy, doing retrofit, profiting from data analytics, all that stuff getting through. Well, how does it look like? Yeah, so optically, it's maybe you can see how easy it is, how much power nowadays you have at the CPU level, at the industrial core, where a complete 5G network is operated only on a part of this blade, and then we connect that with a router to the baseband processor, and here you see the connection to power over Ethernet, here our 5G radios, and that all can be packed in a very compact cabinet, so that every manufacturer, everybody, each university can have its own 5G campus network, and getting even a spectrum on top due to our automation. Yeah, well, that's a technical aspect, and let me talk shortly why we do that. Yeah, because connectivity is connectivity, and people have a lot of ideas what to do with the connectivity. However, we have also some ideas in terms of applications. So what comes with the system? What can you enable, and what has it to do now with the crisis? Yeah. First of all, a very basic, it seems to be basic, reliable voice communication. Yeah, ruggedized phones in mining, in industry, on oil and gas platforms. Yeah, where you have rough conditions, and it's not an easy office environment. So we can establish here a voice core for establishing communication between people. But more, and I will highlight a little bit today what comes with the system. With a click, you enable a Nokia HYPE, which means the high accuracy indoor positioning system, which is a system where you can locate assets, people in real time, and that is now very important for the social distancing needs you may have at offices or at hospitals and so on. I will get into detail here. And as well, scene analytics, which means you have seen the core, yeah, this big industrial computer, so it can operate a complete 5G network, but it has enough space to operate on-prem, low latency applications such as video analytics. And video analytics can even play in the crisis a crucial role, and here I show you how that is. On top, we have the Nokia drone networks, which means automated in your network bubble. You can fly in an automated way professional drones, completely autonomous, which means it comes with a charger, it can fly in formation. You typically don't have an operator anymore. Some countries you need it because of regulation, but that is highly automated for a lot of opportunities. Yeah, and well, not to forget, a lot of industrial things happen. So like the connection into the Internet of Things, into the product line controllers, so that you have an ecosystem which profits from a 5G capabilities, that you have an end-to-end latency advantage and the bandwidth which you may use, or even what we talked about an open innovation to say, hey, let's bring together ecosystems, and that we have achieved with plugins like the Microsoft Azure community to integrate, like having operated an IoT stack here on-prem that you can utilize what the community built. So in that sense, you see, we talked a lot in the past about open innovation, about co-creation, about multi-vendor setups, and that all has become reality on the ecosystem engagements, on the developers there, on the use cases which are different from industry to industry. And this is what I really like at Nokia, that we not only talk about innovations, but we go the way. And my personal decision was, because I talked a lot about innovations, but really to do the innovations now and to fight against the daily problems your customer have, or maybe your customer also has a great vision, and how can we achieve a next step by going forward here. So this is about the application. So because we do all the automation because of the application, yeah. And if connectivity is one need, reliable connectivity, granted connectivity, yeah, then it helps here to establish something. Let's have a look into real-time indoor location tracking. So that was something we always have offered, because you know the problem is so basic. The problem is people don't find things. Things get lost. So like, where is in a hospital my wheelchair? Where is my mobile X-ray? Where is my asset? Where is my tool? Where is that stuff? And so we have developed a system which is easy to use. It has locators which you mount on the ceiling, and you power it over Ethernet, and then you have these little tags, and the little tags are firing Bluetooth low energy signals, but they do that in a way, in a superior way. It's not only Bluetooth low energy, because this is known for decades, but it's about time of arrival and angle of arrival, which gives us better positioning capabilities, and even in the 3D space. So that means if you have a factory now, you can do traditionally your asset tracking, your trolleys, your forklifters, people walking around wearing such tags. And then, yeah, our customers have requested us, hey, think about what can you do to prevent COVID situations. And yeah, because it's information, and we capture the information in the Digital Automation Cloud, the data is available. And because the data is available, we can compute with these data's applications. And one of the applications is the social distancing height collision detection, which means simply you can define by your own in the system what you define as a collision. A collision can be a get-together with a distance lower than 1 meter, for instance. You can define that 2 meters are okay. And then there are a lot of possibilities how you can alert, inform, and log what happened to the people while giving feedback to the mobile phones, while having here an alert system, or to sending somebody if there are rooms where this becomes the nature of it, and you can log and identify, okay, who of these identities, not speaking about persons, but about the IDs of the locators are affected. And another use case is a more intelligent one, and I would like to show that this is not only hardware and connectivity, it's really the intelligence in the system. So like, for instance, it doesn't matter whether you maybe have for 10 seconds near close contact to a person, or you're talking for 5 minutes in a closer distance to 1 minute. Maybe the left one is more dangerous, yeah, than the right one. So you can define different kind of scenarios. You can automate that, and it helps that, for instance, you meet the regulation of your country, that you sooner and quicker can return into the offices or into the manufacturing spaces. And with that, yeah, we can help here to cope with the COVID-19 problem. That was one example. Another example is, for instance, our connected video analytics, and it's the same idea. So we have, again, the end-up bubble, the network, the perfect cellular network, yeah, with low latency coverage, all the beauty of what cellular radio has. And we connect the data into an edge computing device where the analytics happen. So typically, even the industry was ahead. So we have a lot of applications already about activity detection if something going wrong, yeah, surveillance, but also quality assurance, like who screwed in, what screw in what order, maybe augmented with augmented reality goggles, or that this is inbuilt in a robot. However, it has led to an architecture, which means you have a camera, you have an intelligent analytics software, and you're getting sense out of it due to the metadata. And then you do decision, you do prescription, you do all these things. So what we can do with COVID? So hospitals, for instance, they have a need for access control systems, yeah, to spot and to detect who maybe is on high temperature. The same equals for airports, train stations, yeah, but also events in supermarkets, yeah. You see, let's face it, yeah. So we are humans. We have to meet and to walk through and yeah. What we did is we automated now the automated access control, like measuring temperature. I know it does not prevent anything, but it can prevent in many cases dangerous situations. So that a person who is having here an infection and high temperature, to spot that in an automated way, in a single way, or in a crowd controlled way, and then to do the measurement. Not of the persons, but of the IDs. So it's the shape of a human, and it leads to an ID, to a hash code, and then you can say in that object maybe is suspect to having high temperature. So having said this is about what we really have speed up to brought in a very speedy way to the market now, to say entrance control, thermal imaging, and the combination of location and where are zones of danger and so on, and even to having ratios about, okay, how many people have been scanned, how many have been detected, and doing a lot of more assumptions out of this kind of information to save your objects, to save your business, and to keep people healthier, yeah. And if you translate that into the third dimension, then we talk about our automated drone systems, where you even have the capability to help here with our mobile command and control center. In the same way, you again have the Nokia Digital Automation Cloud bubble, perfect cellular network, and then you have these objects being connected perfectly, and that allows us to transmit online real-time pictures, situational awareness. If something happened on top of a roof of production industry, but also for people, for situations where you can give guidance and you can help people to move out of dangerous zones. And that is something which was enabled again with cellular technology and the digital automation. Well, and the last two examples, because it's only the surface of something which technology can do good for humans, is about normal office. And yesterday, so I was like here today, my home office, and we had visitors from Japan. And it's a great company we have met virtually, and one guy in our Olo factory, yeah, showed around the production lines, about the integration of digital products of Nokia. And we have installed a simple telepresence robot. And one guy of Nokia steers that robot and was following up, so everybody could see all the production lines, all the things. And well, this was a little bit gadget and for geeks before maybe 5 years. Yeah, I remember. I said, okay, is that really the reality? But now with a use case, you know, now you even can save these flights and all the costs and basically, if you see these meetings plus 15 people, yeah, hey, we saved a lot of money for actually the same effect. and yes, socializing, getting involved with real people, yeah. So you can substitute, but it can help you to overcome now this situation. And another example, and with this I will end, getting back to innovation capabilities. So there are tools like ID clouds, built from a university here in Munich, to co-create, to brainstorm, to digitally be together. And if you say what happened here on the screen later on can happen inside your goggles, and you can be anywhere, at the sea, at the beach, in the forest, being inspired, but you're connected to all the content, to your teammates. And yeah, with that, I would say I'm done. Definitely, it's a great experience to work in Nokia nowadays, because all our processes are digitally. We have more than one tool to connect to people, and we help our customers to do all the jobs remotely. And that is now very helpful for many of our customers. Many things would not happen if not the remote digital automation control would be established in big areas. Yeah, so I hope that inspired you a little bit, what technology can do for you. And with that, I stop my presentation.
Fantastic, Fabian. I think it is absolutely fascinating, all the things that are possible. And you know, I really like the term network bubble. I don't know, it sort of sounds very sounds a little bit more human and a little bit more cozy than just sort of the global connectivity that we generally tend to talk about. Let me start off with one question. So what are some? I mean, it just sounds so amazing, you know. And the question is, why is not everyone having it and doing it? So what are some challenges and limitations about adopting it? And let me just sort of explain a little bit more. I mean, I'm already frustrated with 3G and 4G, with the fact that it is only in certain places. And while you were talking, my internet connection started to flicker, and I was starting to slightly panic whether I would lose connection or the rest of it. So, you know, I feel we haven't really given access to 3G and 4G properly for everyone. And now it's 5G. So does it all rely on 5G? Just talk a little bit about sort of some of what needs to be in place to really make this work. What are some potential challenges and limitations?
Yeah, at these times, it's a huge burden for our operators, yeah, to achieve here networks which are affordable. And it's not only about 3G, 4G, 5G. It starts really with having a country plan and having the connectivity plan, because you need the backbone, you need the fiber, you need a lot of more, that even cellular networks can be operated perfectly. Fiber to the home is one thing, but even microwave backbone solutions. So that comes on a price tag, which maybe sometimes it's not easy for individuals. Like, imagine if I'm confronted with a cell tower would be built up in my neighborhood, or that somebody starts to dig in an optical fiber, that causes in Europe at least a lot of discussions. And I would say this is about that we realize how important infrastructure is, at least for us and the people, and to say, yeah, give it thought, and let's put the invest on these kind of important things. Yeah, but almost, yeah, these are actually really the most difficult things to get it through, to get it financed. Yeah, and but on the other hand, you have to think a long term. I have realized, for instance, in areas in Germany where there's only wood and some hills and nothing, but since they have a fiber, you know, the property prices are very, very cheap to acquire. Startups can be there. They can make a business out of it. They have enough space for storage. So the prosperity and the involvement of business really starts with infrastructure. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I think it's one of the things, being part of a system, putting the infrastructure around to make it all work is a huge challenge. Let me go to some of the questions that have come through. from Michelle Brocco. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. She or he, well, she, I think, says, hey, Fabian, very impressive portfolio. What is the precision of your hype approach?
Yeah, Michele, hi. So yeah, Michele, founder of Idea Clouds, yeah, are utilizing his tools. Michele, so high accuracy indoor positioning can achieve accuracies up to 30 centimeters based on the number of locators you have. And we also have an outdoor version in our portfolio here. So that is really a very attractive positioning system. It's not the most precise because we just don't want to have the most precise, but the most affordable for more than 80% of the use cases. Yeah, where are my tools? Where is my wheelchair? And as I said, and it's better than a normal Bluetooth low energy solution, and you don't need power installations because the power comes with over the Ethernet plus. So that means a very attractive offer. The next more precise would be ultra wide broadband, and if you need it more precise, then you're going into optical positioning systems. But also we have it successfully tested in our Japan labs together with one of our customers. Nokia already has 5G positioning, which means with the 5G there will be a very high precision system which comes with the system as such, based on the millimeter waves, because as higher the frequency is, as lower the runtime differences are, as better you can position.
And I think the other two questions I've got here are connecting quite well to what you've just said. The first one is, what is the smallest application customer you have of this solution package? And the other one is, how do you generate use cases, and whether you've got a process for that? I feel they are, from my, well, I'm not the expert, but it sounds like they are quite well connecting to what you've just said.
Two perfect questions. Let's comment to the smallest customer. This is exactly what we have achieved, to reduce it to the maximum, to scale it down from carrier grade products, but with the same reliability and features like geo redundancy for manufacturers. So what is the smallest installation? The smallest installation is just one hall at one manufacturer, or one hall for a specialized service unit, and they do jet engine inspections with optical cameras, and they send that information into the headquarter. So very small things. Or another one.
So it could also be just a sort of a shop. You know, I'm just wondering, you know, with the shops reopening and the struggles with distancing and so on and so forth. So could a shop be one of the smallest units?
So what we say is, if you own property, then you can go for the spectrum, then you can establish your bubble. So if the shop is part of many facilities which are owned by a property management, then you go with that property management to install such a bubble. Yeah. So I would say a single shop maybe is a little bit difficult to profit from. But at the size of a football field, it definitely counts. Yeah, and as bigger your area is, as more you profit from cellular networks. Yeah, because you don't need these thousands of Wi-Fi dots. You just have 1-2 radios, and you can go. Yeah, how do generation of use cases? This was for me interesting, because I was the one who generated use cases, utilized design thinking, getting together with Bettina on the future agenda and visioning and missioning parts, picture technologies, all that stuff. Today, I just listen to our customers. Yeah, because the use case comes from a customer, and we have the technology perspective in our mind. We know what is the next technology evolution, and then if you mix the problem and abstract the use case from technology, yeah, and see how can we solve it with future technology, then we have a perfect match for the use case. And yeah, well, and actually there is a methodology like pitching, like again, what is the need, what is the approach, what is the solution, why is it superior than the competition, what is the benefit for? So, and then it starts to iterate and to mirror it, to discuss it with partners, with open ecosystem elements like can be there spotted some companies doing something better than us and so on. Yeah, so it's a typical innovation process. But the new thing is we don't talk about that this is an innovation process, so we just leave it here.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I'm afraid sort of I'm not quite sure how strict it is with the cutting off, because we are up to our allocated time. I'm not quite sure whether you can squeeze in the answer, just sort of a very couple of words answer to the question for a single property installation, or at the size that you've specified, i.e. the size of a football field. How does it compare in price to a regular Wi-Fi setup?
It's absolutely competitive, and for the ones who are interested in, so I share my presentation, so you can go to our webpage, you can contact me, and whenever you have a need to replace and swap your Wi-Fi, we will make that happen on a reasonable price tag for you.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, shall we just keep going until we are officially cut off? I've got one more question that I'd quite like to also like to. Shall we just with the risk that we are being cut off mid-word? Fabian, what about the last one? To what extent do you listen to the customer, and could that lead to more breakthrough innovations or otherwise? It's always, if I'd asked people what they wanted, they told me faster horses.
So. It's a typical question, and the answer is no. You just, if I have listened to my customers and I have produced what Jen Henry Ford said, yeah, we all know that. We have also to establish breakthrough innovations by having methodology research, and we do that actively in the Bell Labs. So the Bell Labs have won several Nobel Prizes, building the foundation of Nokia's patents, and this is where breakthrough innovations come from, or let's say breakthrough inventions. What our job is to make out of these inventions innovations, so that we bridge it to customers, that we make it affordable, that we scale it to a reasonable price tag and use case, and this is done then in the business groups, on daily innovation work.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Fabian. It was absolutely fascinating. Really enjoyed listening to your presentation and hearing the answers to your question. Thank you everyone for your great questions.